بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما نريد الشريف هذا اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا تقم فيه أبدا لمسجد أسس على التقوى من أول يوم أحق أن تقوم فيه رجال يحبون أن يتطهروا والله يحب المطهرين صدق الله العظيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. All praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who nourishes us, the one who provides for us, the one who gives us everything that we have. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with countless blessings, and it is not enough. And if we were to spend the rest of our life trying to be grateful to Allah for everything that has been given to us, it would not be enough. There would be not enough time. وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. If you were to try and count the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it would be impossible. It would not be enough. And this is why we should always be grateful for everything that we have, no matter what situation that we are in, no matter what kind of a difficulty that we are in, even if we are in a moment of happiness, to always remember Allah. And Allah has given us everything that we have, and Allah will continue to give. And Allah has blessed us with a moment and an opportunity to come to His house. The masjid is the most beloved of places to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أحب البلاد إلى الله مساجدها. And the most beloved of place to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the masjid. So whenever we are in the masjid, it is Allah being pleased with us, Allah showing His mercy upon us, and calling us to His house. And the thing that I want to touch upon today is the importance of cleanliness in our deen. Cleanliness, Mr. mentioned at Tahuru Shatrul Iman, that cleanliness is half of Iman. If a person is not pure, if a person is not clean, then none of his ibadah will be accepted. If he is not cleaning himself in the correct way, in the proper way, in the right way. And this is where sometimes it is very important for us to just get a reminder about the importance of it. And there are many different aspects throughout our daily life in which cleanliness plays an important part. first thing is that we have is our bodies. The body which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with, to give it its right by looking after it. So the way that we look after our body is by keeping it clean, and clean in a way where we stay in the state of purity for as long as possible. So, especially when it comes to ghusl, a person should never be in the state of janaba for a long period of time. And to be clean, to be pure, and to make sure that we are in a good state. And the reason being is when a person is in a good, in a clean, in a pure state, the angels are happy to be around him. And when he is not, then the angels, they move away from this person. And shaitan and the bad jinnat, they come around this person and they spend time around him. So this is where we have to always make sure that we are in a state of purity. And being in a state of purity means that our body is pure and is clean. And when it comes to ghusl, to understand that there are certain things which are farz during our ghusl that we have to do, and we have to make sure that we know these things. So, especially when it comes to if a person has had relations with his wife or vice versa, to make sure that the important parts of the body which need to be washed, they are done. So the three things which are farz upon a person is that he gargles his mouth. He gargles his mouth 3 times in a way where the water reaches the top of his throat. And the way the water is going to reach the throat is if he tilts his head backwards. If a person tilts his head backwards, there is chance for the water to go down. During normal times when we do the gargling of the mouth, we just keep it within our mouth and then we spit it out. But during ghusl, farz ghusl, it is very important that the water reaches to the throat. But of course, when a person is fasting, then he doesn't have to do that. The second action is the cleaning of the nose. Cleaning of the nose, again, has to be done that the water reaches this bone here. So there is the normal one that we just put water into our nose and it just reaches inside the nostrils. But in order for us to be pure and clean for our farz ghusl, we have to tilt our head backwards for that as well. So you tilt your head backwards in such a way where the water is going to reach that part of the nose. Sometimes it can be uncomfortable, but we make sure it has to be done 3 times. So even the gargling of the mouth and the gargling of the cleaning of the nose, we do it in such a way where the water reaches the throat and it reaches this bone here in the nose. So this is compulsory when a person is doing farz ghusl. And this is very important that we do not miss out these steps. Otherwise a person, he will never be completely pure and clean. And thirdly is the washing of the whole body. And every single piece of hair that was in the body, we have to make sure that we are cleaning it. Every single piece of hair is made wet, and we make sure to rub around every single part of the body, making sure nothing is left dry. And when it comes to ladies, to make sure, so of course ladies, they have a lot of hair on their head. So just making sure that all of the hair on their head is clean and washed. This is enough. Every single strand of hair which comes down, that does not have to be washed. As long as the hair on the head is completely washed, this is enough for the ladies. But the same goes with regarding to gargling of the mouth and cleaning of the nose. So these are very simple, basic things that majority of us already know, but sometimes we can forget, especially when it comes to tilting back our head for the nose and for cleaning the mouth. So these are very important things. If a person doesn't do the ghusl completely and properly, no matter how much ibadah that they do, it's not going to be accepted. So this is where we are always doing istighfar and asking for forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order to make sure that our ibadah gets accepted. Another part of cleaning that we do is our wudhu. And everybody knows the method and the steps of wudhu, where it goes from our hands all the way to our feet. Everybody knows the order. But also, during doing this wudhu, that we do it in the sunnah manner. So the sunnah manner and the method is that all of those parts of the body which have to be washed 3 times, we wash it 3 times. And the sunnah is 3 times. So we don't do 4, we don't do 5, we don't do 6 and do all these extras. We just do it 3 times. This is the sunnah way. And one of the important parts during wudhu is a sunnah which we all have to try and bring into our life, is the using of the miswak. Miswak was a sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It was a beloved sunnah of his that he, at all times, he would have his miswak nearby. And even on his deathbed, he looked towards Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha and he asked for his miswak, and he was given his miswak. So this is something which will get us a lot of reward. It has been mentioned in a hadith that a person who uses their miswak when at the time of doing wudu, the salah that gets multiplied the reward by 70 more times, the reward that they will get, just for cleaning their mouth with a stick. And the reason for that is because it is something that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to do. It's something very simple, very easy that we can do, and in order to get more reward as well. And especially during wudu, we have 4 fara'id, 4 things which have to be done and which cannot be missed out. The first one is washing of the face. So that has to be from the hairline to the bottom of the chin, from one earlobe to the other earlobe. So we make sure that everything is washed completely. Sometimes what can happen is we're doing it in a quick manner and some part might be missed out. So especially rubbing in every area, making sure that the whole face is washed and cleaned. And for fard, it is just 1 time, but again, the sunnah method is 3 times. Then there is the arms. Then washing all the way up to and including the elbows. Sometimes what can happen is you wash and then there's always a little patch sometimes that's left here which is dry. So we take that extra care and make sure that we wash it. So both arms. And then with masa, there are different variations. There is the whole head, there is a quarter of the head. But we make sure that we understand and remember, masa means to just pass our hands on it. It doesn't mean to soak our head and our hair. Masa is just touching of the head with wet hands. So there is no need to soak our head. And of course there's the feet, which is cleaning and making sure that even in between the toes, that we make sure the water reaches there, up to and including the ankles. So all of these things are very simple, basic things that we know, but we make sure that while doing our wudu, we concentrate on what we are doing. And even more so important is not to waste any water. Sallallahu has mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not like when a person wastes anything. وَلَا تُسْرِفُوا. وَلَا تُسْرِفُوا can be in everything. The ayah is كُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا وَلَا تُسْرِفُوا. It's eating and drinking and do not waste, but we can use it here as well. Water. Do not waste any kind of water. It is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we use it in the correct manner, in such a way where we understand Allah has blessed us. He has blessed us with this water, so we use it. And we understand from the beginning that this wudu that we are doing, it is in order to praise and to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So a person who has this understanding from the start that he's doing everything correctly in the right manner, it will be more rewarding for him. And of course, we are now in the winter months, where there's Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, bang, bang, bang. There's one after the other. And a lot of people, they play a game, which is having the same wudu from Dhuhr all the way to Isha as well sometimes. Let's see if we can do it the whole way, and everybody likes to just do it in the one. But this is where we go back to the hadith of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and we remember that a person who does the most wudu, a person who does wudu a lot, the more they do it, those parts of the body which have been washed, they will be shining more on the Day of Judgment. So of course, if a person is able to keep their wudu, then that's great. But don't force yourself to keep the wudu because of being lazy. Oh, it's cold and I don't want to do wudu again. All of these things. So if we are able to and we can, then we continue to do wudu because it is sunnah. But again, we don't want to be wasting water as well, that we just keep on doing it again and again just for the sake of it, but only if there is a need. And this is where not just concentrating and having wudu for times of salah, but a person should get into the habit of having wudu at all times. Whenever you are in any situation, if you are able to have control of your body, when you have that opportunity, then to keep yourself in the state of wudu. There is a narration mentioned about Hazrat Bilal radiallahu ta'ala anhu, that his his footsteps were heard in Jannah. To which it was then asked of him, what is it that you do? What is this action that you do which has made this happen? To which he replied, whenever my wudhu would break, I would do wudhu again and pray 2 rakat, tahiyyatul wudhu. So always consistently staying in the state of wudhu is something which is going to be helpful to a person. Why is it helpful? That the shayateen, they stay away from a person who is constantly in the state of wudhu. So that he is pure, I will stay away from him. This is what they do. So we as Muslims, we understand the importance that cleanliness has in our deen, so we have to make sure that we always stay in a clean state. And again, so this is only covering the body. The next part is our clothes. That we make sure that we are wearing clothes that are clean, that are pure, and that we would like to be seen in when coming to the masjid. This is an important thing. That, the way that a person likes to get dressed up nicely when they go to a wedding and all of these things. Here, you are coming in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of the worlds, the one who has given us everything that we have. So we try and come in our best manner, and we put on some perfume, and we make sure that our breath is smelling nice as well, that we don't want to scare away the angels. So even moments like these, we understand that the importance of health as well. That sometimes people, they can have different kind of allergies, illnesses, all of these kind of things. So we make sure that if we have any kind of problems or illnesses or allergies, if there's something that could be passed on, especially sometimes when it comes to feet, that we keep our socks on, we keep our feet covered, and just make sure that we're not causing any trouble or difficulty to anyone through that. With regards to clothes, there is a mas'ala that I have been wanting to mention for a while. With regards to clothes. So sometimes what happens is people, they will come and the top or the shirt that they are wearing, when they go into ruku, when they go into sujood, it goes flying up. And this is when a person's back, when their sitter is uncovered for a full duration of either the ruku or the sujood, whatever it is, if it is uncovered, the salah will be broken. Salah will be broken. So I'll give you an example. It's best if you see these kind of things, if you see it with your eyes, it makes more sense. So you will remember this for the rest of your life. The Imam got up and he showed us exactly how it is. So, for example, I'm here going into ruku. So here like this. So what happens is the t-shirt, it comes flying up. So while being in ruku for this whole position, if the t-shirt was to stay up, salah would be broken. So if a person is in ruku, the t-shirt has come up, but then he moves it down and he pulls it, then it's fine. So if it stays for that whole amount of time while he is in that position, then the salah is going to be broken. So this is what we have to understand, that we wear clothes that we know that is going to keep ourselves covered. And as much as possible, because if you think about it, it's very, very distracting for the person behind as well. That person is seeing everything, if it's a full moon or a half moon, all of these different things. So we make sure that everything is fully covered. So the best way, this is the reasons why we have the sunnah libas. This is why you're supposed to, if you don't want to, we're in winter now, anyways, the majority of people, they'll be wearing their long jackets, so that's fine. So main thing is in the summertime, when summer comes, we make sure we are fully covered, that we are wearing clothes that's not going to open our sitter up, because then of course our salah is not accepted. So these are just a few pointers that we have to always remember about our salah. At the end of the day, we want to improve our salah. A lot of the times we feel, why is my salah not improving? Why is it not becoming better? And the simple reason is because of these kind of small issues which are there. So taking extra care when it comes to our ghusl, taking extra care when it comes to our wudhu, what we are wearing, this will help us to improve our salah. So think about all of these things from before. For example, when a person is he knows that he has a wedding to go to next week, from that day he will say that, okay, let me have a look in my wardrobe. What am I going to wear to the wedding? I need to make sure I'm looking good. So in the same way, we should have certain clothes that we like to wear whenever we come to the masjid, which of course it keeps us clean, pure, and it is going to be beneficial for us as well. And the best part about it is that in the ayah which I mentioned at the beginning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that in the masjid, فِيهِ رِجَالُ يُحِبُّونَ أَن يَتَطَهَّرُوا, are those people, or those men who love to be clean and pure. وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُطَّهِّرِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves those who keep themselves clean and pure. And this is what we are aiming for, that we want to be clean, we want to be pure at all times. Most important thing, that by staying in a good state of cleanliness, not only is it good for all of the people around us, but for our own health, for our own benefit, making sure that we are always staying in the best way. We don't want to be causing any trouble or difficulty to ourselves first of all, and definitely not to anyone else as well. Allah gives us tawfiq and understanding to act upon these things. Ameen wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. If everyone can just move forward and fill in the gaps, please, so that the brothers at the back can fill up the spaces.